Folks, welcome to the start of your week. Right off the bat, I want to say this show is no longer called So Bad It's Good. It's called In the Mind of a Man with Ryan Bailey. And, of course, Jax Taylor took that title from me for his new podcast, In the Mind of a Man with Jax Taylor. But we have the one, the only, the co-host of Snarkbait, Sophie Ross Brooks. Let's get into the mind of a man, Sophie.
No, I actually have like a different idea for a new name.
Okay.
Cake Eater.
Okay, so we're getting right into it, dude. Carl Radke just announced he's Shakespeare because he has a new book coming out called Cake Eater, and it was explained to me that is a Pittsburgh slang. Sophie, did you know that was Pittsburgh slang?
No, and I'm geographically not that far away from Pittsburgh, where I grew up. I grew up in Southwest Ohio.
So you're like a cake eater?
Yeah. No, I've literally never heard that. Also, if you have to explain what it means, like, I don't think that's a great title. I was thinking, and I've seen a lot of people say it should be called More Life.
Yeah, I love that one because I was like, oh, Lover Boy, but then that's going to be Kyle's book, obviously.
Right. Yeah, you can't do Lover Boy. I think More Life would have been good. Or even, you look great, by the way.
Or like, can I get a hug? Can I get a hug with my Carl Radke?
Yeah, like one of his like lines, I don't know, kind of like Craig, like, what's wrong with my sewing? That's like a catchy title for a book.
Okay,
you know?
I will listen to this book on audiobook. I'm not going to read it with my eyes because there's only so many hours in a day, but I'll listen to this audiobook. But I was confused with the Cake Eater, and dumb me, I sat there and I went through like every episode of Summer House in my mind because I was like, am I missing some storyline where Carl like fucked a cake or something?
No, but didn't Lauren Workus? I'm pretty sure Lauren Workus, did smash a cake in his face. So, like, is it also like a play on that situation, or
people new to Summer House don't even know the Workus twins? They don't even know their Summer House lore.
Yeah, that's like a very deep cut. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
Well, Carl Radke has a new book, Cake Eater, so that's going to be on stands in a couple of months. So everybody get ready. I mean, listen, I'm sure it's going to be good. That's what he's working on instead of not having sex this last year. And these Wes and Jesse, they are just they're just a gigantic nutsack. Like Wes's face when Carl said he hadn't had sex in a year, you would have thought that Wes's family had died. Like he was shocked.
I hate West. I hate how he's putting on this.
Team Jesse Big Jesse, Big Pharma coming in. Big Jesse.
I know I'm a Jesse apologist. I'm sorry. I know I also have been a Lexi apologist. I apologize for my part in that too. Why? Because I still am a Lexi apologist, but I think that she's also deeply insecure and deeply immature to the point where like it doesn't feel like normal that she's on this show. Like Sophie, she's a child.
First off, I agree with she does look very young, even though she's like
and
2 or 3
acts really
years.
Young.
Yeah, but if you're talking about insecurity, I mean, we got Kyle Cook right there.
No, you're right. I don't know. There's something that's just, it feels nefarious about Lexi's presence. And it's not her. It's the fact that we have these 40-year-old men and then Lexi, who looks like she's 12, acts like she's 16. And that's not to say
Jesse
that
acts like he's 13. Jesse acts like he just got his first Playboy.
You're right. I think that she is just it's sad how insecure she is and how childish she is. And I feel bad for her. That's the thing. It's like, I feel bad. I want to protect her from Jesse because I know Jesse is about to like rip her heart out. But
I like that we all can agree on that. Like that's not going
to Wes though, oh my God, Wes putting on his whole little, oh, I don't have time to recycle anymore. Isn't that sad? I'm so quirky and silly.
He goes, what I used to do is I put food, I would get food in these things and I would wash out the Tupperware. And now I can't do that anymore because life's so busy. I don't even have time to date. I do have time to sleep with women, but that's not dating. That's different.
And you know what? The Bravo audience eats it up. The amount of tweets and memes I've seen of people being like, oh my God, that was so cute of Jesse with the little like puppy eyes emoji. Fuck off. He is playing you. He knows what he's doing. He is so aware of he's playing a part. He's trying to get the audience back on his side, and it's pissing me off.
Well, what I say to that is, I'm coming into my own. I know myself. I nobody else. We're singing the hit song from Jesse Sullivan that he just released a couple of weeks ago. That's so
my
it's
girlfriend.
a catchy song.
My girlfriend literally texted. I'm a bad Jesse Sullivan fan. She texted me those lyrics out of nowhere yesterday, and all day I was like, "What? What is she talking about?" I've been finding myself, not for anyone else, coming into my own, still a long way to go. And I Googled it. I was like, am I missing a reference? Like, what is this? She was literally referencing Jesse Sullivan's lyrics. I'm a bad Jesse Sullivan fan.
Is there a second stanza to that song of people say I'm a boob man, but I swear to God I'm not. I like a big old ass.
People say I'm a boob man, and yes, I do like big cans.
Yeah, I swear.
But I'm mostly an ass guy.
You'll see me on IG talking about your big fanny coming into my own. It's so wild. And I will say, whatever West is doing with his fashion, I feel like it's we're bordering on.
He's playing a character. I swear to God.
He's dressed like Boys to Men, early 1990s Boys to Men. What this guy can do with a silk scarf. Are you jealous as a woman that you use silk scarves? This guy is showing up all the women out there with his silk scarf usage.
Yeah, I'm so fucking jealous. He's playing a character and it's pissing me off. There's nothing that annoys me more on Bravo or any reality show, honestly, than someone who is too aware of the cameras and trying to play a character and trying to pander to the audience.
Well, is he? Yeah. I mean, but that's what my big. I just did a Summer House recap. My big issue is that, dude. I get it. You signed up for reality TV. You got to have that conversation with Sierra. You got to tell us who you're banging. I'm sorry. You got to. Rule's bringing women into the house. Now, I'm upset that he's covering the camera with a shirt, but that's baby steps. This dude's already brought 2 girls in there in 2 nights. And West is hiding, going, I slept on my bro's couch. Smell my fingers. It's so dumb. And then we have Jesse in the other room, telling sweet nothings, but then kind of sort of bad-mouthing Lexi. And then next week we see that he's on a pool float hopping all over Sierra.
Oh my God, the fact that he love bombs Lexi, and then he's she's crazy, guys. She's obsessed with me. She's psycho.
She's one of those people that won't let me leave comments on my friends, my girlfriend's Instagram. And I don't know why Paige and Amanda are not going, yeah, I see where that would be upsetting.
To Lexi or Jesse?
No, I'm saying I don't understand why Paige and Amanda don't understand Lexi's point of view more, and they're kind of
because they're not because they're not actually girls.
Well, did you see that Bravo We're Black, Kea interviewed Samantha Bush, Bravo historian, and they said the reason that Bailey is not there, the other new girl, was because she lied about having a boyfriend, and she put the boyfriend on a close friend's Instagram stories. Amanda Batula found out and had some sort of confrontation with the group, which I think half of this sounds true, but wouldn't that make a great scene on reality television if that were true? I want to see that scene.
Wait, so Amanda found out about Bailey's boyfriend and confronted
That's
her?
What it says on this podcast. Bravo, We're Black. Go listen to it.
Why would Amanda... I need to listen to it. I'm sorry, I haven't listened to it, but why would Amanda care?
That's what it doesn't make sense at all. So that I feel like the truth is somewhere in between, but Bailey is not there anymore. She's not a part of, Danielle's been on 4 episodes out of 5.
Bravo posted and I mentioned this on Snarkbait, Bravo posted a roundup of some summer house pictures and tagged everyone but Bailey. It seems like Bravo has beef with Bailey, as a network. It's crazy. Also, speaking of Samantha Bush, you know what I'm about to say. Justice for Samantha Bush, Bravo historian.
Tell him why.
Because she is the one that broke that story about Craig getting kicked out of Kai Amanda's wedding, and everyone got gaslit about it. I heard it separately too. A lot of us heard it. And through the grapevine, whether it was, reading Samantha Bush's article or whatever it is, I heard it separately from a separate source, double confirmation that this happened. And Kyle finally admitted it on this week's Summer House because he has beef with Craig now. And he goes,
I'm not going to protect
him anymore because of the Spritzer Wars.
Well, I don't know why they lied for him in the first place. This is what annoys me about reality TV. It's like we're eventually going to find out. And then it kind of makes Kyle look like a schmuck too because he lied to the audience for Craig. And Craig definitely got thrown out. And it's going to come to a head next week. But then over there on Southern Charm, we have the finale of Southern Charm this week where we have the picking back of cameras after Paige broke up with Craig. And I don't want to say, but in the final scene, you see that Craig is wearing 10 Megalodon shark necklaces. I don't know what that means.
Everyone owes Lindsay such an apology.
Why?
Because remember, they made her take the fall for quote unquote leaking the story.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't even the one who leaked the story about Craig getting kicked out of Kaiman's wedding. It was apparently Danielle, but that doesn't even matter because he got kicked out in the first place. Who gives a fuck who leaked it? And Craig lied about it and Paige covered for him. And even
what a tangled web the reality show world weaves.
Everyone owes Lindsay Hubbard an apology right this second. If she doesn't get her apologies at the reunion, guys, I'm gonna riot.
And also, I want you guys to personally apologize to Lindsay. If you send us screenshots of you apologizing to Lindsay and tag at So Bad It's Good and at SnarkBaitPod, I want to see a lot of apologies this week.
Yep.
And if you don't, you are no longer allowed to listen to this show. And that's the last part is that you can still listen. But Lindsay does deserve an apology. Now, we've got so many things happening, but I do want to talk about SnarkBait. Who are we snarking on this week? What is happening in the world of SnarkBait?
Oh, speaking of Paige, we did Giggly Squad Part 1.
How'd it go? What
last
was the
week.
Any fallout?
We got some comments here and there. You guys know that like there are a lot of like gigglers and they're kind of like Swiftie-esque. And so we got a couple comments. It's just it's like that a lot of the gigglers, and they've learned it from Hannah and Paige, is you are not allowed to criticize a woman because that is misogyny. And so it's like it's literally, if you criticize a woman, that is inherently misogynistic. Any woman, it doesn't matter who it is.
Listen, I will take the fall. I did threaten Sophie's life this week after the Giggly Squad episode.
Yep.
And now I've realized in retrospect that was not the safest or smartest thing to do. I do have a lawyer now. I've lawyered up, and I think Sophie's lawyered up, and we have agreed through our lawyers to do this show right now. But then after that, we are back at a war with each other over Giggly Squad.
Yes, correct. No, but I think that we were pretty like objective. Like we got mostly positive feedback that we were very objective about it. And so we have part 2 coming out this week. And
wait, guys, the best part of that sentence goes, it was pretty good. So of course we have part 2 coming out this week.
Oh, but there's a lot. We couldn't get to it all in an hour. So
how could you? Now, Hannah Berner has apologized kind of a little bit about the Megan Thee Stallion, but other than that, Paige has not made any statement, and that kind of just died out from the Vanity Fair host.
Yeah, and I knew it would. I was like, this is going to be such a flash in the pan. Everyone's going to forget about it by next week. But yeah, I mean, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Paige apparently was blocking people that were tagging her. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. I mentioned on SnarkBait how she was blocking people who were tagging her in, some of these videos by Black creators, trying to educate them on why what they did and said was problematic. But
I've already been blocked by Paige, so she can't do it twice. So
oh my God, wait, has she really blocked you?
Oh, this was years ago.
You're still blocked?
Yeah, I don't think she knows who I am enough to be like, I'll unblock this guy. I don't think that.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Blocked by Paige,
like to know what
unblocked by Craig. I'm still blocked by Craig.
Well, and by the way, if I was Craig's friend, I would say, have her stayed blocked. Have her stay blocked. And in fact, I hope he doesn't listen to this first part where we really went in on him for a second. Now, somebody that I think we can all agree to go in on, and I hesitate to bring this man's name up, but Kanye West, this fucking douchebag shithead that I used to love his music. Did you see this? That there is a feud now with North West because he put North West in a Diddy song. And we found out that Kim Kardashian now has the trademark for all of the kids. And Kanye wants to go to war with Kim over this. He has deleted these tweets since because he's a tweet deleter, which is so bad. But Kim's like, I asked you at the time if I could trademark her name. You said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her, so stop. And she's like, I sent paperwork over so she wouldn't be in the Diddy song to protect her. One person has to trademark. And Kanye wrote, amend it or I'm going to war. And neither of us will recover from the public fallout. You're going to have to kill me, Kanye wrote. And I'm like, whatever happens, happens. Can you, this, like, it, I don't even want to stand up for Kim Kardashian. Like, it's like, but I don't, like, how disgusting do you have to be to put your daughter on a Diddy song in this moment? Because Diddy's son is on this song as well. Isn't that just gross?
He also, it's fucking disgusting. He also posted, like, did you see that photo? He's like back in the studio and it's just a bunch of swastikas. Like, it literally looks like it's like 1939 Germany.
Guys, like, we can agree on a couple of things here. Kanye's an idiot. Nazis suck. Cancer sucks. Like, those are three things that we should be able to easily agree on.
Elon Musk is bad. And then you have Kim
fucking an Elon Musk robot.
Fucking a robot. Oh my God. I actually could not. I'm like, so that's.
Will you explain to the audience the robot thing?
So she is on the cover of Perfect magazine, whatever that is. I feel like the fact that it's Perfect magazine, a magazine that no one's ever heard of, and that's those are the that's the caliber of magazine that she's getting these days is a bad sign for the Kardashian brand. But she's on the cover with her Tesla robot and laying on him. Is that his pronouns?
Yeah, by the way, what is the gender of the robot? I know Elon Musk is probably so excited to tell us, but is it, and by the way, I think the robot can do better. Why settle with Kim?
1,000%.
This robot is way better than Kim.
It's just those poor children. That's the better parent. The one that's posing naked with a Tesla robot on the cover of a magazine no one's heard of. That's the good parent. That's really sad.
I like that Kanye threatened, you don't want to go to war with me. Neither of us will survive the public fallout. And I'm like, really? I think Kanye is so far in the gutter at this point that nobody really, this is what's unfortunate. Nobody really takes what he says seriously except for 14-year-old boys, which is dangerous, obviously dangerous. But man, I don't think he has a true perception of how he is perceived at this point. And it is so, so damn sad.
Oh God. I mean, I feel at this point, it's almost he's like a kamikaze soldier. He's like, well, if I'm going down, I'm in the gutter already. You're going to go down with me if you even try to fuck with me, I guess, to Kim, which is just if I were Kim, that is not a good place to be.
But are we allowed to also just say this dude is there are mental health crises and he's in one. He'll never admit to it. He'll never but there is nothing to be ashamed of about having mental health issues, but he's making it something that is so much more dark and damaging to mental health overall that it is, you start to you have to keep doing the right thing and remind yourself, oh, this dude actually has mental health issues.
Yeah,
but when does it become too much where it's this is not an excuse?
Yeah, I feel that's almost a cop-out. It's well, lots of people have mental health issues and they don't turn into full-blown Nazis.
Yeah.
It's to an extent, yes, of course he is very mentally unwell, but that, I feel that's the least relevant part about it.
Yeah.
It's being mentally unwell doesn't turn someone into a bigot, a lot of us are mentally unwell.
Yeah, it turns you into a podcaster. That's what it turns. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, I wanted to bring that up because I just read that today and it just infuriated me. There's a bunch of just weird stories this week. So Love is Blind is over. I know you kept up with it. What did you think of the finale? Because the Love is Blind executive producer did an interview saying going forward, the executive producer, Ali Simpson, talks about season 8 and saying, we just need more nice men. That's what she says. That's the goal. We need more nice men on these shows.
I think that's kind of the consensus. It was a bad season. I think what stands out the most is how awful all of the men are. And it makes you feel bad for women who are dating right now. If that's the quality of men that we're dealing with, and this is a crisis, especially in Minnesota. Aren't they supposed to be Minnesota nice? Oh my God. They are all awful. There like was not a single good man on this season other than Daniel, the one who ends up, spoiler alert, getting married. The rest of them are fucking awful, all in their own unique ways, but all horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I saw one clip of the girl going to the aisle and then she was made aware of some of the dude's social media postings and that he went to a church that didn't believe in like
sorry
sexuality
to
and things. No, didn't believe in sexuality and things like that. And she was concerned about those things. And I think they are still together, but they are not married.
So no, she was aware of his political leanings when they got engaged because they talked about it in the pods. And I think that she was hoping that he would like maybe like change or like, you know, and we're talking about Sarah and Ben for everyone who watched the season of Love is Blind. And then she went to his mega church with him, and it was very obvious that it wasn't an inclusive mega church, as you know, most are these days. Mega churches, who not inclusive? Oh my God. And then he ended up being like a fuckboy. Some stuff came out about him, about how he was like really horrible to ex-girlfriends in the past. And then he like gaslit her. So no, they're not still together. But that was one of two men this season where the fiancés were like, I cannot be with someone who does not believe in gay rights, a woman's right to choose. Yeah. And that's just scratching the surface of how awful these men were this season.
Yeah, I mean, and they all looked the same too. From what I was, like, I saw pictures and I kept getting confused. I was like, I'm seeing different women, but it looks like the same guy again and again and again.
Yep,
and that is kind of insane.
Yep.
Listen, Wendy Williams returned to daytime TV this week. She was on The View. She called into The View, and she is begging to exit her guardianship or her conservatorship. And she called in with Joy, Sarah Haynes, Sunny, Anna Navarro, and Alyssa Farah Griffin. And this was a pre-taped phone interview. Whoopi was not on this because she does not work on Fridays due to a contractual clause. Good for Whoopi. But Wendy said, it was my choice to get an independent evaluation on my incapacitation, which I don't have it. I've been doing important things all of my life, and these two people don't look like me. They don't dress like me. They don't talk like me. They don't act like me, referring to her guardians and the judge. How dare they say I have incapacitation? I do not. I need them to, on my knees, get off my neck. What do you think about a strategy, even if you're not fully up to date on Wendy, what do you think about somebody using the strategy of going on live television like The View, and this was pre-taped, but it's mainly a live show, to beg to be free?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad strategy. You want to get your voice heard somehow. If you feel like you are being trapped, you know, it's like if she has the ability and the platform to do that, then like, good. I mean, it's such a freaking sad situation in so many ways. And you know, it's reminiscent of Brittany. And, you know, it almost felt like Brittany did not have a voice or a platform at the time when she really needed it. And so I can't knock it, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, it's conflicting, right? Because we did have the Brittany situation, and, you know, Brittany, she's free. Like, everybody would be like, look at her Instagram. Yeah, we all have, like, a lot of us have stupid Instagrams, first off.
Yeah.
And yes, she's never going to be the Brittany that we grew up, but a lot of things in our memories and things that we were inspired by in our youth, it's never going to be the same. Like, even people, like, a horrible example is Real Housewives of New York, early Roni. We're never going to go back to those early Roni. I'm sorry. We're just not, because those women have changed over the years. They've all got this certain level of celebrity that when they come together, whether it be Ultimate Girls Trip or some promotion, it's just different. It's not going to be the same. Now, there is a concern, obviously, because I do think something obviously is going on with Wendy Williams, but she should have access to her money. I think Kevin, her son, that she dearly loves, also kind of might have been dipping into the money in ways that he shouldn't have. And that kind of triggered this initial thing happening to begin with. But watching that Wendy Williams docuseries on Lifetime last year, it was horrifying. Like, I couldn't believe they let her do that. You know, there was alcohol involved in that as well. And I'm really torn because I want her to have the right people around her. But it seems like once you get to a certain level of fame, that's never going to happen. You're always go, like, you know, more money, more problems, but it just seems just really tragic because this is somebody, if they were operating at a certain level, it would be really interesting to hear her voice specifically talk about Diddy, talk about all of this stuff. I would love to get more of her takes.
Oh my God, she is so missed. Her takes and her opinions on all of this, everything that happens in pop culture. It's obviously really sad. It's sad. Just everything about it.
What else are you watching? What are you loving catching up with? We got the announcement that Vanderpump Rules, the reboot, will start filming by April. We still do not have a full cast list, even though people are sending me certain people that they think are in the cast. And I don't know, you guys. I'm not gonna not knock it until I try it. But it's a hard pill to swallow.
I'm excited. I know it is a hard pill to swallow, especially because it's been. It's been has it been a year since they've been on our screens? And
has it? When did it? I mean, we had the 2-year anniversary of Sandoval last week, so I don't know if it's even been when was the end?
Yeah, when did? Okay, let us know, you guys. When the last? Either way, it's been a long time since these people have been on our screens, and I'm at the point where I kind of miss them. Like, they've been in our lives for so long, and I am attached. As sad as it is, even to fucking Tom Schwartz. I'm like, well, what's Tom Schwartz up to? I do miss them. And I understand why the reboot needed to happen. Absolutely. And even Ariana did an interview recently where she was like, I was never going to come back. It was never going to happen. I understand. I also I don't miss Lala, for instance. I saw her. She was very prominently featured in the Valley trailer. Don't miss Lala. But I miss those crazy kids sometimes.
But it's the Wendy Williams, not nearly to that severity, but what are we missing? We're missing a feeling that a show gave us that was really good and tragic and made us wow, this is really crazy. But Ariana, to your point, did an interview with People Magazine this week where she kind of said, which I thought this was really interesting. She's like, listen, I was never going to say yes to the next season regardless. And she wasn't saying this oh, I'm too good for this. But she kind of said, at the end of the day, I don't think I have what it takes to be a good reality star. And I thought it was the coolest quote because it's Sandoval, it really hurt you, but you benefited from it, but also you showed up and you were talented enough to make it work, because you'll get opportunities in life, but if you're good enough, you will not keep getting those opportunities. And it's so nice for somebody like Ariana that I think has kept her side of the street clean. She even was listen, I'm not, I think I had some funny lines. I had this. I think her reaction to Sandoval was what made people super passionate about her. But I think she's done the best that any reality star can do in terms of continuing to somewhere great.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think also it's The Traitors just ended. I'm do I miss Sandoval on my screen? Maybe a little bit. I'm sorry.
Well, this is a good question. Because I think a lot of people feel the same way you do. Where does Sandoval go from here? Because I was speculating they're not going to build a show around him. So where do we put Sandoval?
Wait, did you see Survivor? Did you see the cover of Us Weekly? That was are we ready to forgive Sandoval?
And he's Perfect Magazine.
Yeah, Perfect Magazine. And his face, it's just him going, and I think we are. I think we are ready to forgive Sandoval. Sorry. I mean,
you don't have to sorry for forgiving anybody. It's at this point, it's whether you're Jax, whether you're Sandoval, whether you're just at this point, women and men, whatever, we've been warned. If you still want to hook up with Sandoval and Jax, that's on you at this point. There's been enough instances where you should know what you're getting into. But am I allowed to laugh at him on The Traitors? Of course I am. Yeah. Of course. I'm not going to really buy into it that he's acting a character. That's
No. We were laughing at him, not with him.
Yeah.
But I think maybe he just turns into a career. He already did the
Special Forces,
The Traitors. Maybe he does turn into a Boston Rob of sorts, a way far less intelligent version.
Well, Boston Rob actually used cunning and skill in certain ways. I could see him going on House of Villains season 3.
Yeah.
But I'm what else out there? You have Deal or No Deal Island, which they haven't used full.
It's your options are kind of limited as a career.
Dancing with the Stars, maybe? Is it Dancing with the Stars?
I mean, he would jump at that opportunity, I'm sure.
Well, speaking of new reality shows, we have a new one that just got announced. And this is what's so crazy. I didn't really hear anybody really speak about this, so I don't know if you did. But there is a new reality show that is starring Spencer Pratt, Cynthia Bailey. It's Hulu has this show. It's called Got to Get Out. And it is 20 contestants. It's hosted by Simu Liu, who is
actor.
The actor, which I'm like, wow, he's like really in between Marvel movies for this dude to host it. They're fighting for a chance in under one roof for $1 million. You've got Cynthia Bailey, Demi Burnett from The Bachelor, Val from Dancing with the Stars, Claire Crawley from The Bachelor, former NFL running back Rashad Jennings, Susan Knowles from The Golden Bachelor, Omarosa from The Apprentice, Spencer Pratt from The Hills. This was filmed pre-fire, you guys. Kim Zolciak-Biermann from Atlanta. And then you have reality rookies.
What is like the thesis of the show?
The thesis, that's a great question. Do they even need a thesis?
This is, oh my God, I'm like, this is the first time I'm hearing this Trump meme. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, it's so Friday, March 14th, Hulu announced that the Simu is going to be hosting Got to Get Out. While living under one roof, the 20 television personalities will fight for a chance to win $1 million as they work to get out of the house. Lies and lunacy collide in the exhilarating competition series where an outrageous mix of reality icons and crafty gamers must conspire to get out. In this house, time is money. As the clock ticks up, so does the prize money. The longer they stay, the greater their chance to earn more. They can split the money equally in the end, or at any point in time try to make their escape with the accumulated money all for themselves, leaving others to start again at $0. From wild strategies and temptations to shifting alliances and unbelievable escape attempts, the players will try any and every way to make it out of the gate and win the prize.
It's like an escape room.
It looks like a big mansion escape room. Oh, wait, here's one last part. You are allowed to kill people in this game.
You're allowed to murder?
You're allowed to what if they were like, the traitors worked, but what if we actually physically, really murdered?
Wait. I'm dying also that like this fucking show, this fuck ass show that I've never heard of has a $1 million prize and the traitors can't scrape together. Oh, by the way, last week when you told me that Traitors UK season 3 was on Peacock, I obviously watched it immediately.
I haven't watched it yet. Was it good?
It was good. It wasn't my favorite Traitors UK season. But the prize pot, I'm not going to say who won or how many people split it, if anyone split it. The prize pot ends up being 90,000 pounds. I don't know conversion rates that much, but I don't think 90,000 pounds is anywhere close to, say, $1 million.
Yeah, I don't. The Traitors has such a good game and such a low prize pot. And then, you know, on Deal or No Deal Island, their prize pot is like $9 million and more. They got to go up against the banker still. But it is like a ridiculous sum of money that when you watch the Traitors, and Gabby Windy on Watch What Happens Live this week said she still hasn't gotten paid. She still hasn't gotten the money.
I also think
where's her $20,000?
I also think, where's her like $5 after taxes?
They give it to her like a gift card for like NBC merchandise or something.
Yeah. I also think it's like actually insane. And I've thought about this before, but like the more you watch, you're like, if you are a faithful, it is literally impossible for you to walk away with the entire prize pot. You have to split it as a faithful. The only people that get the entire prize pot at the end, if they get to the end, is a traitor.
And you would be considered a real dick if you were a faithful and walked out by yourself. I mean, you can't do it anyway. Can't. It's not set up where you can,
The game ends with 2 people no matter what.
That's why it was so cool last season when, not cool, like I like Mercedes a lot, but when CT and Trishelle kicked Mercedes out at the end, like that was brutal, but really good television. So I think Sandoval could be on the 2nd season of this show. Like I guess he could be on another season of The Traitor.
You guys were like career counselors for Sandoval.
I don't like, where do you, he was actually performing with Tom Sandoval in The Most Extras this weekend. And did you see Carolyn from The Traitors was there in like Minnesota?
Oh my God. Are they like, I feel like she had a crush on him.
And I'm like, girl, no. Cause she always goes, girl, what are you doing, man? And like, I think
Piper, no.
Tsunami, Piper. Dude, Jason Isaac, he had a hog, didn't he?
Okay, so apparently it was a prosthetic. And then Jason Isaacs, we're talking about the White Lotus, obviously.
Sorry, guys. Sorry for that pivot.
Just jumping around. Jason Isaacs made a comment. He was like, you know what's crazy is that everyone's talking about my hog. No one talks. I just saw Honora. You see full labia, Mikey Madison's full labia. No one cares when it's a woman. And I'm like, Jason Isaacs, this is not the hill you want to die on.
This is weird. By the way, this dude, like just weeks ago, everybody was commenting on what a beautiful accent he's doing, a North Carolinian, and his Thomas Ravenel. And now he's like, women have to put up with us like talking and lecturing over their bodies all the time. And the fact, and by the way, I didn't know that was a prosthetic. I was sitting there going, we got like a Boogie Nights 2 on our hands with this guy. Like it was like, holy.
What's his name in Boogie Nights? What's his name
Mark
again?
Wahlberg's character is Dirk Diggler. Dirk Diggler. Yeah. Let's keep on rocking. Yeah.
I just assume every time I do see like full frontal, quote unquote, and it's a man, I assume it's a prosthetic.
Yeah, by the way, when is the last time you've seen in a movie where you've seen an incredibly small penis? And it's not about the penis, but they just happen to be naked in the back and you're like, that's a micro penis. Like, has that ever happened? Because I feel like every time we see a penis on screen, it's like a large penis because they always want to have a large, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Where is the representation for that?
I still haven't watched Queer, which is crazy because I'm like Drew Starkey's #1 fan, but that's the movie with Drew Starkey and Daniel Craig. And I saw like a clip, maybe this is why I haven't watched it. There's a clip on Twitter of Drew Starkey's like prosthetic and it's so bad. It like is very obviously fake. It just looks fake. And I'm like, ugh.
It's like when actors put on like you can always tell when it's a fake beard. It always looks glued on and you're like, that's not a real beard, man.
Bradley Cooper's nose in that one movie.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Bradley Cooper's beard in A Star Is Born. I was about to hang up
Jackson
on you.
Maine.
I was like, that's an amazing
that was
beard.
real. No, I'm talking about his nose in Maestro.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was so funny. That was so okay. I'm sorry.
He's fully on dating Gigi Hadid now, and Gigi Hadid's kind of talking about it. Like, this is obviously another relationship where the age range is all out of whack. And who knows about Bradley Cooper? There's always so many rumors with him if you read the blinds. And
I was going to say, like, I've always kind of just been like, I don't know how much I believe this relationship, because if you follow blind gossip, you know that people have been saying for years that Bradley Cooper is maybe in the closet.
Well, and it's such a delicate conversation, and I don't know, I like to live in a world in my head where I'm like, it doesn't matter, but I guess
it doesn't.
It does, but I guess, I'm lucky enough to live in Los Angeles. You live in New York. We were raised I was raised that every, sexuality didn't matter in that sense at all. So I'm really lucky, but you remember that there still is a very big part of society that sometimes is so anti this stuff. But I would hope that Bradley Cooper, of all people, would feel strong enough to be able to be like, yeah, man, I love who I love.
No, you're right though. Like, it doesn't matter to us or, as fans. Like, if you like his work, you love his work, but
have you ever had that feeling though, when you're watching something and you're like, God damn it, I just found out I can't watch this shit anymore.
Jonathan Bailey, when I'm watching Wicked, I'm like, wow, like I don't have a chance ever. No, but I think, and I also said this when I saw Wicked, I was like, I think it's amazing that we have this hot leading man who is openly gay. And I think that I can understand why someone like maybe Bradley Cooper would be like, me coming out would diminish my chances of getting these hot leading role hunk
like
action
Maestro
movie. Like Maestro, like American Sniper.
No, I know what you're talking about. But I'm more like, then, the Gigi Hadid of it all. No offense to Gigi, but like my mind immediately goes to Bradley Cooper around a Thanksgiving dinner table with Yolanda Hadid. Like, how does that work? Like,
how does that work?
Like, does she just serve almonds at Thanksgiving? Like, chew the little almond lemons. I have a Munchausen. Like, how does that fucking work if that's the real deal? Like, he's a family guy. We always see him out with his daughter in paparazzi photos. So, he's all about family. So he has to hang out with Yolanda Hadid? And the Muhammad?
Yeah.
Cooper's hanging with Muhammad?
Yolanda's like, who is Sookie Waterhouse in this world? That's his ex-girlfriend. Who's now obviously like married to Robert Pattinson.
They had a baby.
They have a baby. I don't know if they're married. They might just have a baby. I don't know.
I don't know how we spun off on that, but fantastic. Oh, I never got to tell you, I think, to your face, is that I did finally see Wicked like a month ago. And it's really long. I will say,
but it's amazing. You enjoy every second of it, right?
The last 40 minutes had me.
Not the first 3 hours.
I will say, the first part of the movie, did everybody not look like they were Ethan Slater? Like, I was like, everybody looks like Ethan Slater in this movie. Yeah, everybody looked like Ariana Grande's boyfriend. I was looking around. I was like, no, I will say the last 40 minutes, totally, I got into it, and I thought it was really stunning, those last 40 minutes. It took me a second to fully give myself over, and then I just kept picturing, like, I know Maritza was crying, you were crying multiple times. Yeah. I never got to the crying part.
You never cried?
No, I'm a crier. I don't think anybody would argue that. So I don't know why I didn't cry.
There was not one, but I also love like the musical. I'm like this familiar with the show. And
I'm a huge musical person. Like,
no, I know. I
525,600.
Yeah, I just love Broadway shows in general. I just was not bored for 1 second of that movie, and I know a lot of people were. Like, I know that there are a lot of people that are like, that was way too long. I tried watching it so many. That was me watching.
I'm excited for the second part. I mean, wait, watching what?
Me watching It Ends With Us. It took me an entire day to get through It Ends With Us, and I know that's how some people were with Wicked.
Did you see Blake Lively was promoting A Simple Favor too, which is still so bizarre. But people are out there promoting her movies. But then some girl on TikTok had a run-in with Blake Lively at a hotel. Did you see this? And filmed her.
Okay, can you explain this to me? Because I keep seeing people reference it, but I have not seen the original work.
So it came from this TikToker that really didn't have any followers, but I guess, and she had this story of she was, I think, out with her husband. They were pregnant, but I think she unfortunately lost the child. And so it was some rest and relaxation. And they were at the same boutique hotel. Joanna Gaines, from the HGTV, Joanna and Chip Gaines, has this hotel. Oh no, Waco, Texas. This was in Waco, Texas. And there was all of these buzz around the hotel that somebody special was coming in, all these flower deliveries and all of this stuff, which I'm like, if I was Blake Lively, I wouldn't have anything with flowers around me for a long time just because of It Ends With Us. And the lady was excited and I guess had videoed a 10-second video where you can tell it's Blake Lively. She's being really loud and but just that. And I think her team saw her, and all of a sudden she posted it and got a bunch of hate and a lot of accounts that she says was potentially tied back to Blake's team. And then the next day she said she was walking to her car and Blake Lively came up to her with a camera phone and was like, "You don't like it now, do you?" We don't have this video to see this. I don't know, you guys. I even hate saying this story because I hate when we don't have exact proof. And my mind always tries to go back and forth of well, it probably is annoying to be filmed, but you're Blake Lively, maybe quiet, pipe down and don't talk so loud if you're in I don't know, you guys, but it was all over. Rebecca was showing me all of this on TikTok, and I don't know. She didn't seem like, this lady telling the story didn't seem like a kook or something. So I don't know, but it was wouldn't you, if you're in public from this point on, wouldn't you just go about your business in the nicest way possible?
Yeah. I'm confused. That's such a convoluted, weird situation.
I probably didn't do a good job of it.
I think you got it right. And that's why I'm still confused, because I keep seeing people reference it and try to explain it. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is so stupid. Yeah. But yeah, you would think that at this juncture that she would be going out of her way to be just innocuous, kind.
Yeah, but even if you're an asshole, act like you're not an asshole.
Act.
Act. It's called acting. Acting, please. Start. I don't know. Anyways,
oh God,
that happened. We mentioned the Valley season 2 trailer earlier in terms of Lala, but I wanted to get your thoughts because it premieres April 15th. What did you think of the trailer?
My body is ready. There's so much.
It healed my neuropathy.
Oh my God, there's so much. It's such a rich text.
it's
it really is. There's so much. There's so much to unpack. There's
what got you
drama,
excited
there's
in terms of
intrigue.
richness? What was the rich, savory pieces for you?
I'm most intrigued in the Michelle and Jesse Lally dynamic. Apparently, he accuses her of being a quote unquote hooker, sleeping with a guy for $1,500 a night. Which sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I don't know.
No. See, Sophie, this is when I heard that, there was a lot of thoughts that went through my head. One of the first ones I'm sad to admit was, if you're sleeping with a billionaire, wouldn't you get way more than $1,500 a night? Like, you're a billionaire. Like, what about $3,000?
I love how I'm so poor. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. That's a good rate. That's fair.
Isn't that no, I don't know.
No, you are right.
I've never traded services yet for money
yet.
Besides podcasts yet. I'm not going to ever say I won't, but like $1,500, if you're a billionaire, but the second thought I had, and the most important thought was, even if this were any shades of true, that is so gross of him to bring up on national television when they share a daughter that they both love. It really is gross. And there's a clip of it where you just see from like a long camera lens of like her throwing a glass of water, and she's smart. She doesn't throw the glass, just the water. Like, she's not going to break the glass. So she's smart enough just to do the water.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. So that, and then like, what's going on with Jason potentially?
Fauci?
It was.
Oh, Jason.
Is that his name? Jason?
Jason
Janice's husband.
Janet, not Jason.
Janice. I'm sorry, it's been a while since the Valley has been on.
Gotta catch up with these kids. Yeah.
I know. Janet's husband, maybe.
Said he takes his ring off when he. This is one of those things, but it comes from Doute, and Doute and Janet obviously have this big, Batman Joker kind of thing going where they're against each other. So is this something of Doute knowing how to classically stir the pot, or is there any meat on the bone here? I don't. Like, Jason's a lawyer. I don't know. I
know. It's like he's like the one good guy on the show from last season.
I just think we have to stop looking out. Like, I think we need to stop even the phrase good guy. Let's just assume we're all not good guys and just go from there.
That's true.
Daniel Bucco on this, they say he plays grab ass when he gets drunk.
Oh my God. And then you have like Jax and Brittany, like Brittany saying she found panties and like a baby wipe.
On top of, and Janet says it was to wipe the girl's private part. And
for some reason, you saying private part, like
it's hot, right?
It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand at attention.
Do you know what? That's what my dad said he felt when he met my mom for the first time. That's amazing. That's a really powerful. Thank you, Sophie. I'll take that as my therapist is trying to say don't take everything negatively. So I will take that as a compliment. I think in which it was meant. Private part. So this lady, but then Jax. See, this is why. Okay, so Jax, you guys, we talked about it earlier this week, and I'm sure Sophie will talk about it on Snarkbait at some point, if not already. He, in relationships these days, if you're in a successful one, and I mean reality TV, the thing isn't even splitting up custody or finances, it's splitting up podcasts. And Brittany is now taken over when reality hits, and Jax, they've given him his own podcast called In the Mind of a Man, with Jax Taylor. And we had our first episode of that with Alex Baskin, the producer of Vanderpump Rules in the Valley, that came out, I think, on Friday. Now, Sophie, if you were Jax Taylor or anybody representing Jax or anything like that, where would you be on the encouraging scale of saying, you know what, that's a great podcast title for the person that you've been the last 13 years on reality TV?
Do you remember we talked about this, that Vanity Fair article about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, about how they kept throwing like podcast ideas at the wall at the Spotify office. And one of Harry's ideas was to like interview sociopaths. And they were like, I think we would have like a booking talent issue with something like this.
You'd have to admit you're a sociopath. But by the way, if Jax was like in the mind of a fucking sociopath, I'd subscribe. I'd rate it 5 stars.
Absolutely. I feel like he should just lean in at this point.
But in the mind of a man, like, listen, I don't get offended by a lot, but I will say, like, in the mind of a man seems like you're speaking for all men.
Right.
And I want to say that we're all like special snowflakes, but I think Jax is also just such a unique special snowflake himself that I think it should be more personalized, like in the mind of Jax Taylor.
He's like, what? I thought we all fantasized about murder sueys.
He goes, I bet you don't even give them a baby wipe to wipe their private part. That's the kind of guy you are. I'm giving my son's baby wipes to these whores. That's what I'm doing. What are you doing? And doesn't Brittany seem like she's the happiest she's ever been in the trailer? She's like,
she does.
He did it. It's so funny. He did. I took a picture of the baby wipe right on the thong. Like she seems
does.
So at ease.
She does. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm sure that she's much, much happier having, losing those 200 pounds of weight off of her shoulders.
Well, he did Alex Baskin's podcast, the Hot Mic podcast, said he went back to a mental health facility, but he left 13 days early, which is, it's a choice. But I just think you can do I feel like they don't know, why they're famous. Like, nobody wants to hear Jax give out mental health advice because he doesn't have enough time under his belt. I'm saying this gently. It's like Rachel Leviss. When she did her podcast, I was like, that's cool that you went to a mental health facility for 3 months, but I would never take your advice because I feel like you are so new to it. It's like Carl Radke trying to learn who he is sobriety-wise. Why would I then listen to somebody when they're still figuring it out for themselves? Jax, just no offense, Jax, but I just don't think this is like your forte yet. Like, if you had 10 years under your belt, I'd be like, how did you make this work? Because we all saw how you were. Holy shit, congratulations. I would totally listen to what you have to say at that point.
Oh my God. He's a work in progress. Okay.
Well, that's the first time we've heard that say in regards to Jax. So that's amazing.
Right.
What else are you watching, Sophie?
I'm caught up on Severance, and I'm still at the point of Severance where I'm like,
don't say
I know, I'm sorry. I talk about this on Starkbait too. I am at the point where I'm like, am I too stupid for the show? And I think the thing about Severance is that, like, you do actually, to a certain degree, have to either be really smart or like know where to read on Reddit to like get your answers. Otherwise, you're going to have no idea what's going on. With White Lotus, you have stupid people that think they're so smart when they understand something on the White Lotus. It's like, you do not have to be smart to watch White Lotus.
Oh, so sorry that Adam Scott doesn't have a huge prosthetic dong, so you would like it more, Sophie. Like,
no, oh my God. I was like, I have no idea why Irving is doing any of this until I read Reddit. And I was like, what did I miss? I was like, I wasn't even on my phone. I was fully at attention watching the show. I was not scrolling. And I had no idea that Irving was doing what he was doing because of this reason. Like, I had no idea.
Wait, does your husband understand what's going on?
No. Neither of us do.
Don't you? Why we're like nearing the end of this, and like the fact that
my brother-in-law was like catching up on last week's episode, and he texted us. He was like, "Why is Harmony Cobell huffing paint?" Like,
because we all started an ether factory, and he got the whole town addicted to ether.
You only know that because you read Reddit.
Sophie, I swear on my mom that I did not know that because it says Ether Factory, and the guy started with Ether, and then he started.
Okay, maybe I'm not as good at picking up context clues. I'm
Sophie,
sorry.
You know me. I am not smart, and I understand the
no,
show. And I feel
think
like every time you say it, the wind is on your back right now. You got the girlies listening, and they're not going to take and you ruined Severance. You guys know
I love Severance. I ride for Severance. I love it. It is such a fucking good show. As soon as I read about what I missed, I understand it and I appreciate it, but I am not picking up what they're putting down every episode because I'm too stupid. Ryan is smarter than me. I'm a fucking dumbass. I am not.
Yes, you are. More of a dumbass than you are a dumbass.
Okay.
We're both dumbasses, but I'm just telling you, it hurts when you say that. It's like if I said I did you a solid and said I liked the last 40 minutes of Wicked. I actually did. I did. But anywho, let's get to something fun. Tom Cruise, huh? Hey, guess who's getting his dick wet again? This Tom Cruise.
Oh, Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas. The last high-profile relationship I believe she was in was with Ben Affleck, like the right before the going back out with Jennifer Lopez and marrying her. Ana de Armas was Ben Affleck's girlfriend, and now she has been spotted out with Tom Cruise. And I've got to tell you, because we haven't seen Ana de Armas in a hot second, even though she was nominated for her Marilyn Monroe movie a couple years ago. What do we think about this? And will she join Scientology?
You know why we haven't seen her? They were keeping her on the ship. She was doing she was doing the Scientology semester at sea thing, whatever it's called. And they were extracting all of her deepest, darkest secrets they can use as leverage.
You think that's where she's been?
Yeah, she was at Semester at Sea Scientology version.
By the way, I like Sophie says the Scientology like it's a road rule season.
Yeah,
remember Semester at Sea? They were like the fun.
It's Overboard for Love by Alex Cooper.
Oh my God, that's another story. Our favorite Alex Cooper, Call Her Daddy, she will not slow down. She is producing and hosting a new reality show. What is this for, like the CW? What is it for? Like
I don't fucking know. She needs to like take a breath.
Well, we were just talking about how busy this girl is.
Yeah.
And it feels like we were talking about like drill in on one of these things and really like make sure it's like solid and good. And then she does a big announcement for this other reality show.
It's too much.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's like Overboard for Love or something.
Yeah, I've got it right here.
And it takes place on the Scientology boat.
I didn't know that. It's called Overboard. Okay, I was like, what? It's called Overboard for Love. It's a Hulu unscripted series.
They use the same boat. Like how Irving's dog on Severance is actually Tom and Shiv's dog on Max. It's the same dog actor.
Radar on Severance is the same dog that Shiv and they had on Succession. What a good actor dog.
And it's the same thing with the boat they use for Scientology.
They use it in you can swear your life to 1 billion years for Xenu, and Alex Cooper will be here to make sure these sexy 30-year-old singles will mix, mingle, and attempt to find love. I guess the kicker of this show is gaining access to the yacht's extravagant amenities won't be as easy as lounging on the sun deck. According to the show's logline, contestants will face unexpected challenges that will test their connections and relationships. As the journey unfolds, sparks will fly, alliances will form, and heartbreak will be inevitable. In the end, only one couple will sail into the sunset victorious. This feels like somebody really legitimately will go overboard. Like that happens on cruise ships.
Someone is going to die.
Alex Cooper will make sure somebody dies on this reality series.
Oh my God.
But she needs to slow down.
It's too much. It's too much.
Did you see Alex Earl? She went away from the Unwell Network, but she had an interview out this week on her podcast with the one and only Bethany Frankel. Did you see this?
Yes. And she also like announced this, her like partnership or whatever it is with this new canned cocktail. And I'm like, someone check on Kyle Cook.
You know, at what age... Like I had a real thing with spritzers over the pandemic, but I just also chalked that up to the pandemic. And no offense to spritzers, but like, have we gone too far with spritzers in our society?
I'm wondering
and I don't mean
the same thing.
To Loverboy, but like, you know, have we gone too far?
I'm wondering the same thing. It's obviously a very saturated market. And I think maybe it's the fact that I've aged out of like drinking a lot. Yeah. Which is, you know what's funny is that when I first started doing this show with you like 4 years ago,
like puke in the bathroom.
Oh my God, I was puking. I was hungover. I was eating KFC. I was like,
same girl.
And like now 4 years later, I'm like, oh my God, maybe I've aged out of it. Either way, I can't remember the last time I cracked open a canned cocktail. Like and I know people are clearly drinking them because they
obviously.
I don't know.
What I am doing, I'm huffing ether from Keir's Ether Factory in Severance. No, I just
wonder,
Hail Keir! I do wonder if we've gone too far, and also like how many spritzers until there's too many spritzers on the market.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we shouldn't have this many spritzers to choose from.
I also Spritz Society, which is the one that I guess Craig invested in, the one Ben Soffer, boy with no job, his spritz, whatever. I watched a TikTok of someone doing like a taste comparison of Loverboy and Spritz Society. I personally, I'm not a tea person, so Loverboy I don't think is just for me anyway. Like I never liked it. They said Spritz Society was disgusting.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. You probably already knew. I'd never heard of Spritz Society until the Spritzer Wars with Kyle on Watch What Happens Live. That was the first time I heard about this. But I'm sure, you know, any publicity is good publicity. So congrats to the Spritz Society. And we'll find out more about that on Summer House this week. But the Alex Earl Bethany Frankel thing was kind of interesting. And I'm curious where Alex Earl, her podcast is going to wind up. Is it going with another podcast company or what are they doing?
I wouldn't be surprised if she just like, I don't think that she makes most of her money from her podcast. I think that she is way better at being like an influencer and a TikToker. And I'm not just saying that because I'm like, hey, too many podcasts, you know?
Yeah.
But like, no. I don't think that that's the most lucrative thing that she does. And it's a lot of work, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised if like she just wrapped wrapped it up.
Wait, what's your favorite drink to drink now as a beverage? It doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Oh my God, I'm always drinking just like seltzer water, like LaCroix or Spindrift. Always. Like, I like the taste of flat water, but like always have a seltzer water. Like our fridge is always stocked. But going out to dinner and stuff, espresso martini for life.
Wow, I had the best espresso martini in Phoenix, Arizona last week. We were like, I talked about it on Monday's show in the beginning, but I forgot what it was called. I don't know. Anyways, this guy like hand makes like the cream that they use in it. It was so good. It was damn good.
I was gonna say, do you like your espresso martinis creme?
Not creamy, but like the whipped cream on top. He put like whipped cream on top.
Oh my God, yum!
But it was like handmade whipped cream. Like, it's hard to explain, but it was so damn good that we went back to this. Like, me and my buddy Matt went back the next day before we went to the concert. It was that good. Anyways, I asked this as we start winding down because Tori Spelling, who we remember from 90210, and she has a lot of kids, said she does not drink water, and people are understandably concerned. She confessed this on a new podcast, or her podcast Misspelling, where she said, I don't drink water, and when I say I don't drink water, I don't drink water. How I'm still living, no one knows. I'm like a cacti. Just water me once in a while, and I somehow survive. She said she has an aversion to it and that she was only able to drink water when she was pregnant with her kids. Is that insane. Legal? Can you do that? I mean,
she has to be, maybe she's getting her like hydration from like juice, because I think there's technically like H2O in like a glass of orange juice. Like, she has to be getting it from somewhere or she would die.
Oh, that's what I always wanted to ask. And I know this is why you know I'm a dumbass. If I drink Diet Coke, that's a liquid. There's got to be some percentage of that is water-based, right? Like, does that give you anything?
I don't think that counts. Juice?
No.
Juice, yes. And some foods like celery. But like, she has to be getting it from somewhere or else she would die.
Yeah.
I would like watch, like back when I followed her on Instagram, I would watch her like, she'd be like cooking for the fam or making her kids their like school lunches. And she'd be like deep frying like a country fried steak for her kids' like dinners or their lunches. I'm like, I don't know what goes on in that household or how any of them are alive if they're not getting nutrients or water.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Wow, that's a lot to take in. Anyways, what else are you watching? Anything to recommend to the people? And obviously Snarkbait, go rate it 5 stars. We got Dark Energy Tuesday. We're doing Giggler Squad Part 2. They are taking over. But what else are you watching? What else should we be paying attention to?
You know, what I have not watched at all this season is Yellow Jackets.
Same.
I keep telling myself that I'm going to catch up. And then I'm just like, I feel like it.
But you know what? I was thinking about this the other day, is like how important it is. Like, you can't, like, you know, like that first season of Yellow Jackets was so damn good. And it's like, that's why it's so important to like,
you can't throw in the towel.
It's so important not to do bad TV, because it really does lose people, because there's so much good television on right now.
Yeah.
And it's always the last on my list. We actually just started watching this Netflix 4-part series, Adolescence, which
I heard that's really good.
It's really interesting. It's all in one shot. Oh yeah. I thought so far Rebecca's kept watching it while I'm podcasting, but I've watched the first 2 episodes. But I thought that was really good.
Oh, I need to watch it. Yeah, there's like
I finished Paradise. Is it good? Was good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I liked it a lot. And now the next one is The Pit.
People keep talking about that, The Pit. Like, there's just so much to catch up on. Again, I just watched Traders UK season 3. That's like what I was watching for the past week. And then obviously White Lotus.
Yep.
Southern Charm finale this week we mentioned.
What do you think about that JT Vanita thing? Like, I'm so confused.
Seems like Vanita's lying. Like,
Vanita's
everyone,
not a liar. It doesn't.
I know. I love Vanita. I'm so confused by it, and like, I love JT. Like, they're making me love JT because I keep feeling bad for him. They keep lying on him.
They keep lying. Do not lie on my good name. I never called Miss Patricia Beale.
Mommy, just ask my mommy. I never lie.
Popper, tsunami. Yeah, so then Kardashian news, you guys. Timothy and Kylie seem to still be going strong. Taylor Swift, there's a rumor that she's going to make a big announcement at the iHeart Music Radio Awards on March 17th, which I don't even know what today is. But
you just made those up.
No, I swear to God. Here's an
You
article
go
that says
iHeart Music Radio.
iHeartRadio Music Awards. I don't think she's going to make any announcement because wouldn't you wait for like a big one like the Grammys or the Blockbuster Awards or something like that? Like the iHeartRadio Grammy Award. Like, I think she's just chilling, having like just dates with Travis Kelce at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I don't know.
thing.
I guess we'll see. I mean, everyone's waiting for her to announce Rep TV.
Yeah, maybe I like that she's like keeping us on our toes. There's a new song by Haim I like that is out. Taylor Swift.
And you know who stars in the music video?
I do know this. Who is it? Oh, Taylor Stark.
Drew Starkey.
Yes.
My man.
Cool? And then finally, this is the biggest news ever, and I saved the best for last. That's right, folks. Counting Crows announced 2025 tour. The Complete Suites tour is out on the road starting in a couple of months, folks. Tickets are on sale now. Adam Duritz and the boys are back to doing what they do best, rocking the Heartland.
Woo! Which one are you going to go to?
Jones and me. I don't know. At this point, I've seen them so many times, and I will see one of them. But they have a new album coming out, so I hope that's really good. But you know what I want for them the most? You know how Landon Barker, what's his name's kid?
Travis
Barker's son. You know, Alabama's there like having a rap war with Bad Baby, but Landon is in his bathroom and he's always lip syncing to that Frey song.
Yeah.
The Frey, remember that from like 20 years ago
from
Grey's Anatomy? I want Landon to pick up a Counting Crows song just so they can get some attention. Like, do Mr. Jones or Round Here or like
It's been a long December and
I'm about to reach out to Landon.
You should. You should be like, you take song requests.
Yes, because I feel like he's done the Frey song on. You guys don't know what we're talking about if we're talking about TikTok, but he's in the bathroom, like just always lip syncing into the one song. And like, now the Frey is actually going on tour.
Isn't it How to Save a Life?
How to Save, but that's not the song he's lip syncing to.
What is it? I'm trying to remember what it is.
It's I'm shocked Rebecca hasn't ran into the room trying to tell me because she's.
Oh my God.
It is. I know this sadly because I went back and listened to the Frey's album last week because I was like, oh, I like that song. The Frey. You Found Me.
You found me. You found me lying on the floor. Where were you? Where were you? Just a little late. Okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry, you guys. Guys, once again, Snarkbait. It's taken over, you guys. Get them before, I don't know, just go listen to the show and keep listening to this show. We got a lot of great guests. And anything else that you want to tease, Sophie?
No. Listen to Snarkbait and yeah.
I feel like there should be something else that we're saying, but we're just
I guess
saying it. Wait, did you like Atlanta? Atlanta, by the way, I recommend it. First episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta was really good. Way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, wait, how are you liking it? Are you liking the cast?
Only one episode in. I love it. The whole cast is based around Shamia, which was Portia's friend that I didn't think she would ever lead it. But my God, her husband bought her a $430,000 Rolls Royce. And I was like,
maybe I'll watch the season because I'm so many seasons behind in Atlanta. Dude, so maybe I'll just jump in.
You do not
it's like a new cast.
Well, not completely new, but the relationships that you need to know about, they're explained in the first episode pretty quickly. But I think it is worth your time. So Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, tell your husband and your family I said hello.
I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, guys, In the Mind of a Man and a Woman with Ryan Bailey and Sophie Ross Brooks. That's it, you guys. Okay, bye.
In the mind of a cake eater.
In the Mind of a Cake. Carl Rackey's book, pre-sale now. I wonder if it's going up around the same time as Scheana's book.
Okay, bye.